every single game is different. It's got different casts, different characters, different locations, different story. I feel like it's kind of helped me to deal like a range of emotions that we go through everyday life. I just feel like I go on a journey with these characters, and it feels like it's my own personal journey as well, like in my real life. So
I've said it 100,000 times, but I just thank them so much for always being there when I need them, or helping me and letting me help them by being a volunteer for Kupocon. I love doing this. I love just being here and helping. I'm getting emotional. I love meeting everyone and seeing all the cosplays and just being a part of the community. It's really important.
The fact that you can become so attached to these fictional characters, I've not seen that in a game before. So the fact that you had these decisions to make for them, choosing where they go, what they do, and the consequences of that, and seeing their personalities come out, even in a game that's not voiced, to really see the personality come through in text, and to really relate to some of the issues that they were going through. Difficult times, they're training in an academy, it's similar to a school, and they're building friendships, they're losing friendships. There's a lot of, real life scenarios that mimic that. So I think for me, being able to see in a fictional world the actions and the consequences of those, I think it helped me to really sort of look at my own life and what I was doing, and to see the consequences of my own actions, which as a teenager, sometimes you rush into things, and it's a bit like what those characters do, and at the time I did feel a connection with the whole group of characters. I do have a bit of a soft spot for Ignis. He is the sort of mum of the group. He does the cooking, the chauffeuring, and as a mum, I sort of relate to that a bit, taking care of everyone else. And
is your cooking that good?
I think it's pretty good. Okay. I do take some inspiration from some of his recipes as well, the game recipes.
A new recipe every day,
yeah? Yeah, not quite every day, but there are some new recipes. Okay. I think that because the games, they come out regularly, and at every stage of my life there's always been a game that I can turn to when I'm stressed. I like to play to relax. There's characters, some that I've become very attached to and that I absolutely love, especially now as a mother as well, seeing the younger characters and some of the characters' parents, and being able to see some terrible situations that they're going to when they have children, and being able to realise that I'm lucky that I have my son in a safe situation, and these people are what they're going through and their experiences. As I said before with Final Fantasy VIII, each game I seem to find something that I can pull across to my own real life, and start to look at my own life and see actions and consequences, and generally just to chill out and relax. It's a great way to blow off steam. A couple of hours, get involved in a whole other world. No bills to pay. It's excellent. Really just making so many amazing friends, seeing some great cosplay. Everyone here, it's like a family, it's like a kid's birthday party. Everyone's dressed up, we're all having fun, we're all playing games, we're all talking about the things that we love. And I've not seen, any negativity. It's just the whole atmosphere is just so positive and so wonderful. It brings people together, and I know people come from all over the world to come to Kupocon, and it's worth it. It really is.
My name is Mo Gallagher, better known to the online community as MJ Gallagher, the author of the unofficial Final Fantasy VII novelisation. It's been around for a few years now. Just something that I did as a hobby. It got a bit out of hand. Posted online 2012, I think, was the first time. So it's been around online for a few years now. When Kupocon got up and running, they asked me to come along, and would I be willing to have the first volume in my novelisation given away as a VIP gift. I was delighted to do so and came down to London for signings. The following year did the same for the second book, and it's just sort of progressed from there. And at the most recent event, I've written a standalone novella about the Nibelheim incident, and had artists Crimson Sun and AJ Haley help me out with that, and we're delighted to be able to launch it today. Free to everyone. Kupocon attendees actually get it a month before anybody else, but as of the 2nd of October it will be available to everyone across the world to download for free. It was quite an unusual thing how we got going. I loved Final Fantasy VII, and back in the day I used to read a novelised version of the Resident Evil games by an author called S.D. Perry. And when I was at school, as part of a sort of English project, my teacher suggested that, okay, go away, just write anything, whatever you love, just a few pages. And I realised that what made me interested in the writing was to just take a snapshot of a scene within Final Fantasy VII, just use the dialogue, just talk about the scene, the background, what have you. And from there it sort of built into like a real love of, I actually want to do this outside of my schoolwork. And that was really how it all came about. And I think the first incarnation of it was back in the early noughties. And it has just grown and grown and grown from there. For me, it's Zack. It actually always has been Zack, even before Crisis Core came onto the scene. Simply because, for anyone who's played the story of Final Fantasy VII, they'll know the struggle that Cloud's gone through. And when you see the secret cutscenes about the story of how Zack comes into play and he rescues Cloud, and they make that journey together, and everything about Cloud and his, or for the majority of the game, who he is as a person is based quite heavily on Zack. Although Zack in the original game is quite a minor character, he plays a major role in the overall story, and that was something that always resonated with me, even from a young age. So when Crisis Core came about, you know, for me it was just the best thing ever. So Zack has always been my favourite character. Kupocon's a bit different because rather than a conventional convention, it's more like a big celebration of our love for Final Fantasy. Has a far more sort of intimate and playful feel about it, rather than a sort of maybe a corporate event. I think because everyone here is, or the niche aim is Final Fantasy, everyone is there to celebrate that, to talk with people that have common interests. And it has a much more relaxed, much more friendly atmosphere, friendly vibe, I suppose. And I think for anyone who's interested in getting to know that community, this is an amazing platform to do so, because you know that everyone else in the venue is there for the same reason as you. It just opens up so many doorways to people who may struggle with that element.
Gosh, well, Kupocon came to my attention about a week after it was announced, and around the time they're looking for people to get involved. So people kind of seem to think I was here from the very, very beginning at its initiation, but this is the brainchild of Alex Main. Whereas in my case now, once they discovered people needed to get involved, I thought, yep, this sounds like something new. I've barely been to a convention in the past, and I just thought, let's go for it. They want anyone who's interested. So I got active in the community at the time, and it wasn't particularly big then, but it started to grow quite quickly. And I became a community manager with different people. There's two joint one at the time. And I recall that they were looking for people on the North American side and British side. Now I was supposed to be just involved in the British side of things, but I decided I'm going to go to North America and help out there as well. Thought it made a bit of sense to kind of get involved from the get-go. And that's kind of how it happened. I just dived right in, you know. I said, don't hold it back and you really want to do it. You just go right in, and I think there's no other way to explain it. I just went for it. And it's grown ever since. This is event number 6, haven't missed one yet. But I did Final Fantasy VII, I believe was the first one. Uncle's house, no memory card, repeating Midgar and Wall Market every day. And eventually we rummaged up the money and got the game. And it just grew from then, you know, because we had that one game, our family assumed, oh yeah, let's get them another one because they like that one. And it just grew from there. I used to invest a lot of hours in it. It's probably the series that if I need to say what's your favourite game, I'd just say the Final Fantasy series, and 7 probably the favourite, but that's pretty much it in a nutshell, really. I've kept up for as long as I could, skipped a few bits, but no, I've been playing the most recent ones, of course, and it's really good. Okay, I swear I only put you up to this one because the details are extremely unique, and that's why I can only explain little bits. Here's a little fact. Chai Palm, all the cards have numbers on them, as you know. There is, in my one, I got to pick Naniki's numbers. I have A, 8, 3, and 2. Now, A will stand for the 0 in this case, and it basically stands for August 30th, 2003. All the numbers correlate that way. And I've told everyone that much and I won't tell any further. They hate me for it. But it's actually extremely difficult to describe why it's so important. It's, as people know though, you come to me with anything and I'll be like, yeah, it's like, thanks Mel, I appreciate what you've done. And then you come to me with something nanny related, it's like, yeah, great, thanks, that's for me. But I can't explain why. It's this very personal reason why. There's something about the character that relates, not to necessarily me personally, but something very important. And because of that every time I see it, it reminds me of this thing that I have in mind. And it's the single most important thing to me in my life that happens to be related in that respect. So, I managed to talk for a while without actually saying the reason why, but it is very deep. It's not just because I thought, oh, his design's great, the character, the personality is fantastic. There's a very deep reason behind that, and no one's going to know. Gosh, well, sometimes if you want to know, just look back at our group page, look at our Facebook page. You'll see how people react to what we do and how they get involved and engaged. It is so special. You know, if my eyes look glossy, it's probably because we just finished our closing ceremony and it's an emotional roller coaster. It's amazing. The big thing about Kupocon is this community aspect. And what makes it really special is that everyone comes in and they walk in, they don't know each other, but you think they've known each other all their lives. And if they haven't, then they do it in the first half an hour of coming in. And it shows because you can start off with the opening ceremony, get the reaction, people are kind of excited, it seems kind of unique, the layout. Come to closing and the chairs, the walls, the interaction is just soars above. I mean, the only way I could say it is if you're interested in something unique, something different, you really want to integrate, make new friends, if you have a love for Final Fantasy, of course, this is it for you. This isn't like, you know, as people say, it's not a typical convention. We prefer the term fan gathering for that reason. It's all about people coming together in celebration of this game series. And because we've all got this common interest and element, it's very easy for people to bond, and quite quickly at that too. So all I like to say is if you're not afraid to talk to people, invest in Final Fantasy in any form whatsoever, this is the place for you.
I love Final Fantasy, and I saw an opportunity to bring a community together. It's a game that I enjoy. You know, the older you get, you don't get as much time to play games. So I felt that it was an open opportunity, and I jumped at it. I love Final Fantasy. I love working on events. I'm an event producer by trade, and together it just made this wonderful event. My favorite Final Fantasy is 8. It was a game that came out during a fairly difficult time in my childhood, so I would use that as an escape, and it would allow me to relax and I guess I grew up with it, and it was the first Final Fantasy game that I actually bought myself rather than stealing a friend's copy. So yeah, it's very important to me. Honestly, I don't think I do have a favorite character. I mean, naturally you could turn around and say, I guess I could say it's Squall, but I like a lot of Final Fantasy characters, so it's a difficult one. I knew that the reaction to Kupocon would be good. I didn't realize it was going to kind of have this impact, and the only reason I think that we continue to pour so much energy into it is because of that response. If it was to the fans, I'd say thank you from the bottom of my heart, and to everyone involved, and if it was to Square, I'd say thank you and don't sue me.
Every single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Yeah.